Good morning, everyone. Ah, our Bible video. W's and V's are difficult for me to still after 36 years now. Still hard for me to hear the difference or say it right. Till I see people laughing, and I say vacuum, for example, instead of vacuum. Anywho, uh, it's really interesting to me and how it seems like when you have a different view, or you kind of you yourself. I'm an individual, right? And I'm not afraid to be an individual. All right. Have I ever really followed any kind of peer pressure, this or that? No, if it wasn't something I really wanted to do, surely not. And I always been swimming a little bit against the current. But who doesn't love salmons, right? Yeah, not always, yeah, but all right. So, anywho, it is interesting to me when I'm not against per se things, except for when they're where you have to say, yeah, but that's no, or tell people what to do. But I have my own thoughts about things. Always have my own thoughts about things, and I always try to see things from God's point of view, right, and the ideal. But I also don't view God as something that I have to fear. He's my ultimate parent in heaven, and he does know best, right, about me and everyone around me and out in the world and about the creation. He knows just best. That's just how it is. So I'm not going to question that. And yet, I have to find it within myself to, okay, how would God feel about this? As this loving parent who just wants the best for his children, always, right? Yes? Yeah, a little tough love comes with that. But again, one can misunderstand tough love as well. I have the possibility to step into anyone's life and be there, at least even as an observer. I might not be able to change anything or do anything, right? But I can be there as an observer. God cannot even do that. If people live in sin or they do things that they full well know they shouldn't be doing, this and that, and things go wrong, the consequences, he can't be a part of that. There's no room. It's almost as if people have a shield around them and God can't go through. He just can't. That's not possible. Sometimes it's whole nations. There's this shield God can't go through. And it's not that he doesn't want to. We can't call him omniscient and omnipotent and all embracing, all loving. Of course, of the principles of creation, the principles of love, as they are set and they can't change. We can't call God, our heavenly parent, our heavenly Father, that, right? If suddenly he would be able to be a part of all this stuff, right? Yes, or even change something, because freedom of will is exactly that. What are people all around the world screaming for? Freedom. You have that. You have absolute freedom of will and freedom of choice. Okay, you do. Even in the most dire circumstances, you do. Yes, it's just a question of what you do with that. And God never interferes with that. We were designed to be able to make our own decisions. And hopefully, with the tree of knowledge in the Garden of Eden, we will know what that is. When you have reached a certain age, being taught by others, parents, to a certain age, yes? Well, anyway. So I found it interesting when say people who don't believe in God, it's just they're making fun of it, or just the stuff they come up with, to say, yeah, well, there is no God. I don't believe in a God, and you're sitting there, you're going, I guess we have nothing to talk about then, because I'm all about God. Every day, every moment of my life, every day is about God. Oh, was it always like that? Of course not. What did I just say? You grow. You're not just physically growing as a person, you spiritually grow as a person. I found in my life I've grown more and more into my individuality, right? On the side of goodness. Well, I always have to mention that, right? And so when someone says, well, I don't believe in God, I'm going, man, what common denominator I'm going to find with a person like that? It's going to be difficult. Oh, why? Because, now I can't talk about God. That's always, again, there seems to be no offense letting me know, right? Oh, you don't believe in God. They don't believe in God, right? And they don't want to hear anything about God. But then when I mention God, that's offensive to them. I should not be offended, which I'm not. I'll look at it always as a challenge. Oh, well, let's see. And in any case, I'm not sure how you can say that you don't believe in God, right? Because there are certain things within us we can only do because there was a creator, right? Yes? Like, for example, freedom of will, right? Which is different for plants and animals. Okay. And then within your own community, in a way, if you have a little bit of a different view on how you perceive God, like, for example, I don't fear God. I don't think anybody ever in all through history is not needed to fear God. Why there are certain things in the Bible or in the other religions, that, if you don't, this, that, God's not like that. This is God does not control us. He doesn't want to control us. That's why we got freedom of will, freedom of choice. There has to be a willingness for us to just understand the purpose of life. And the purpose of life is to bring God joy. So there it is. Yes. And you have to hear suddenly you're an antichrist because you don't, well, it may say that, but I'm not going to go with something that myself have to say, but that's not how I understand it. It's not how I experience it in my life, right? And or I'm not. Well, if you believe this or that, then you're not a Christian. Okay, well, I guess I'll have to let other people make up their mind what my belief is, what my life of faith is, right? Yes, I know people struggle out there with that, right? Yes. To how many people do you say when they leave, God bless you? I added on now. I would say that was a God bless you. I want them to be safe out there. I want to send something with them, that keeps them safe and protected and blessed for the benefit, not just them, but everyone around them then. You never know, right? And now, God bless you and protect you, right? Again, Father Moon said one time, when you get in the car, you say a prayer first before you go, and you say the prayer for everyone else out there. Of course, for yourself too. Say, Father, please let me drive the car properly. This, that, okay, there's a speed limit. Let's go with that. Let me not be in a rush. Make sure I keep vigilance around me. Make sure that everyone out there is safe with me on the road, right? Like, I could be the problem, right? With me on the road, and everyone there, with me on the road, be safe, and then start driving. I love it. I love that. It's such a simple little thing, right? It takes 60 seconds or not even. You can just have the thought, please, Father, I pray everyone's safe out there with me on the road. Let's have a proper good time. And yes, how many people did that? I don't really hear people tell me back. It's changing. God bless you too. Oh, how often did you do that? Now I added on, and protect you. It's getting longer, right? My goodbyes are expanding. Anywho, so am I saying, don't be afraid to be a good individual out there, right? On the side of goodness. I always have to mention that, don't I? Right? Yes. No, you don't. Yeah, you can, but it's not the ideal or God's point of view that you go out there hurting people. So, but I think that when you have goodness around you all the time, it becomes infectious. Right? Yes? Yeah. Yeah. Well, if you come across someone that's real friendly with you and you kind of had a bad day, this or that, and sometimes a nice smile just kind of lifts you, right, up a little bit too, doesn't it? Yes? Just as when you come across someone with a really bad mood and you're not prepared to give that smile to someone like that, then your mood's probably going to drop a little as well, right? You see? Yes, yes. So what force do we want out there to be stronger, right? Yes. It's all about the healing of the world, and our world needs a lot of healing, right? Yes, I think so. Yes. It's right at the bottom of the steps in that white container. Okay. We're on 35 in Genesis. Ooh, you know what? Let's read the second pledge. I did the first one, did I? Yep. Number 2 in the family pledge. Our family pledges to represent and become central to heaven and earth by attending God and true parents. We will perfect the dutiful way of filial piety in our family, patriotism in our nation, saints in the world, and divine sons and daughters in heaven and earth by centering on true love. Isn't that amazing? That went right along with what I just said, right? Beforehand? Yeah. Wonderful. All right. Gotta love that pledge. We're in Genesis in our New Jerusalem Bible, 35. Jacob at Bethel. God said to Jacob, "Move on, go to Bethel and settle there. Make an altar there for the God who appeared to you when you were fleeing from your brother Esau." Wait a minute. I thought they were good. Now he was fleeing from... Oh. That was when he first went. Okay, got it. Okay. Well, see, one has to understand that properly. I'm still in the other story here somehow. So that was at that well, I guess. Wasn't there a well? Or was there just... I remember that place. Jacob said to his family and to all who were with him, "Get rid of the foreign gods you have with you. Cleanse yourselves and change your clothes." Oh, foreign gods? What the heck is that all about now? They never mentioned any. I know the idols that Rachel had with her, took from her father, but it seemed like that was... Okay, again, I explained that too, and how suddenly the god of Nahor kind of, right, was, rather than being one with the creation and knowing how to live with people, right, they became little statues, right, to ask... I'm not getting on how people worship statues and stuff like that. One could say, so, well, Christians, worship the cross. The cross is a remembrance of something very horrific, okay? It's a reminder to me, not a statue or a symbol to worship. That'd be weird. All right, so maybe other people with their statues, things, and so that they worship gods, other gods than our creator, okay? Then maybe they have an explanation for that too, right? So I don't know. Yeah? because I've never been into things like that ever, never, ever. And some people could say, with Father Moon and Mother Moon are true parents. Well, you idolize them. No, I don't. Well, you bow down to them. Okay, bowing. Okay, in Korea and China and Japan and certain other places, it's a greeting. Okay, it isn't worship. That would mean that every Korean that bows to another Korean or someone else just out of habit will be worshiping that person. But to me, the bowing is just a sign of respect, not worship. I've never worshipped true parents. Never. I know who that. And again, do I have to worship God? Well, worship sounds, it's like this submissive way of that. If you do that, then someone else has this control over you. Why? What for? I've never felt that God wanted me to worship him. My Father in heaven, my heavenly parent wanted me to worship. You want me to believe, to have faith, to take dominion over the things in my life. That's what he wanted to see, not worship. So again, no, as I said, some people have this different in their life. There are different areas in our lives that need restoring, and it's not the same for everyone. So for some people, maybe, right, having this really strong, deep visual connection to true parents, and then it looks like worship, or maybe they feel that way. Well, that's their thing. Right? But for me, people say, yeah, but you guys worship them. Yes. No, that's not true. That's not true. And I've never heard true father say I had to worship him. He said, you got to accept me because you need that blessing, right? Yes. Got to accept true mother because she's part of that blessing. Right? Don't you want to be part of the God's lineage? Come on now. Right? So here it is again. I had my experiences, so I have no doubt in my mind. That is the truth. That was the truth. Is the truth, and got the blessing. Done. Okay. But one could also say, well, if it does no good, it won't hurt you neither, right? So why would you want to take the chance? All right. Just saying, right? Sometimes you have to kind of go with something on blind faith, right? Not wrong either, if it's on the side of goodness. Right? There's another thing that I've heard that, when they have these mass weddings and this and that, that people are, they were brainwashed into getting matched and this and that. When going, that's not, from what I know, that's not true. Never. I've watched plenty of videos and with couples who, there's tons and tons, thousands of videos out there of thousands of couples who will tell you their experience. And I haven't found a bad one yet, if they stuck it out. But I also know of couples who were matched and then they have a time where they can, even if it's just a short time, go and kind of meet each other and see, do I want this? And they can say no. Nobody was forced. Nobody is forced. Again, unless you're not willing to pipe up, even when you have the possibility, well then that's on whom? All right. But as far as I know, and oftentimes, there were times where you had a very short amount of time to decide, well, then on to the next thing. But most of the time, there were months, sometimes years, where couples got to know each other. Right? And then they went to the blessing. Now, after they were matched, then when they had a long engagement period. I'm just saying. Right? So, now there's millions of people out there, with the millions and millions of people all around the world have received the blessing. Yes. Restoration and progress. So that don't worship true parents. I acknowledge for who they are. They're amazing. True Father is in spirit world now, but they're amazing. They've done amazing work on this earth. Now, Mother Moon, true mother, she's finishing up the path of Eve, restoring woman. For clarity on earth, it's needed. Yes, you can wander through the fog. It's very difficult to see in a fog. You can make it through it. Got to go very slow, and but isn't it much nicer to walk a more clear path? I think it is. And true parents have given us that on earth. How did everything go hunky-dory there, this and that? Or with all the children, say, hey, come on now. Jesus said, don't throw them rocks if you got things to work on in your own life. There. All right, let's keep going. So, the idols. Oh, so he kind of knew something. Maybe Rachel did fess up. And maybe there were others who, if Rachel, again, he removed the whole tribe from amongst Nahor's people. And if Rachel took them with her, then they meant maybe something to her, right? She didn't want to leave behind, so others may have them too. All right, so get rid of the foreign gods you have with you, cleanse yourselves, and change your clothes. We must move on and go to Bethel. There I shall make an altar for the God who heard me when I was in distress, and gave me his help on the journey I made. They gave Jacob all the foreign gods in their possession, and the earrings that they were wearing. Jacob buried them under the oak tree near Shechem. They broke camp. A divine terror struck the towns round about, and no one pursued the sons of Jacob. This goes right along with the protection again, right? Jacob said, we're going to get rid of this. We're going to go with a clean heart to mind to the next place where God's asking me, right, to settle with him. So we can't have anything else with us. Right? So they left everything behind, all that stuff behind, and became what? There was protection on their journey, right? Because all them false gods and all these other beliefs that were still floating around from the past, right? In Nahor and Nahor's tribe was all left behind. New beginning. Yeah, right? That's kind of neat, isn't it? Yeah, I get that. That's really beautiful. That's how it works. And they didn't pursue them. Huh? When Jacob arrived, that's that just unseen force, right? May the force be with you. When Jacob arrived at Luz in Canaan, that is, Bethel, and all the people with him, he built an altar there and named the place El Bethel, since it was there that God had appeared to him when he was fleeing from his brother. Deborah, who had been Rebekah's nurse, died and was buried below Bethel under the oak tree. So they named it the Oak of Tears. Oh, Deborah, the nurse? Rebekah's nurse? Oh, she must have gone with Jacob. See, he did have people with him. Oh, she died. She must have been quite old. She was back home. That's when she died. Oh, nice. That's nice to see. Jacob did honor her very much, seems like. God again appeared to Jacob on his return from Padan Aram and blessed him. God said to him, your name is Jacob, but from now on you will be called not Jacob, but Israel. Thus he came by the name Israel. Oh, interesting. So Jacob was named Israel. Jacob has a whole country named after him. That's interesting. God said to him, I am El Shaddai. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation indeed, an assembly of nations will descend from you, and kings will issue from your loins. The country which I gave to Abraham and Isaac, I now give to you. and this country I shall give to your descendants after you." Then God went up from him. Jacob raised a monument at the spot where he had spoken to him, a standing stone on which he had made a libation and poured oil. Jacob named the place Bethel, where God had spoken to him. Well, that's nice. I think one has to be careful when God gives you something to take care of. God, be careful to not just think you own it. Okay? You have dominion over it. You care for it. And you include and embrace what goes around. You got to be able to do that in a peaceful way. Needed to mention that. The birth of Benjamin and the death of Rachel. Oh. They left Bethel, and while they were still some distance from Ephrath, Rachel went into labor. She was pregnant again. Mandrake, by the way. Mandrake. You guys go and check out. Go read up on what mandrake's good for. I was right in my other video about that. That's Spirit World teaches you right as you go along. I said, we can have our own heart to mind, And when you let your own heart to mind really bloom and blossom on the side of goodness, then there are answers there that you didn't have, but somehow we don't live in a fantastic world. We live in a reality, okay? Not in a bubble with imaginary things, this, that. It's reality. And what is reality? And God created everything good. So God doesn't need all that imaginary stuff either, okay? That would make him lesser than us then, somehow, wouldn't it? Yeah. We don't live on a puff of clouds. We live on the ground. We got a pretty solid foundation when it comes to earth. Anywho, so why change things and make them all miraculously miraculous, right? Rather than, no, there was a plant that actually helped with that. Right? It may be rare, but it was there, and it was there at the time when, yes, the guidance of God to something, right? That then will help with the progress. Yeah, I'm just saying. Just saying. I like miracles too, and they do happen, but again, how do they happen? All right. Rachel went into labor, and her pains were severe. When her labor was at its hardest, the midwife said to her, "Do not worry, this is going to be another boy." At the moment when she breathed her last, for she was dying, she named him Ben-Oni. His father, however, named him Benjamin. So Rachel died and was buried on the road to Ephrath, now Bethlehem. Jacob raised a monument on her grave, that same monument of Rachel's tomb, which is there today. Oh, she died in childbirth. That's sad. Benjamin. Reuben's incest. Oh, dear me. Israel left and pitched his tent beyond Migdal Eder. While Israel was living in that district, Reuben went and slept with Bilhah, his father's concubine, and Israel found out. Oh. Bilhah was one of the slave girls. So, I tell you what. I'm not sure why they call it incest. Reuben was who? And it's just mentioned. It's like this much in the Bible. But I'm not sure why they call it incest, because Bilhah was, I don't think Bilhah was Reuben's mother. Surely not. Reuben was Leah's son. So he slept with the slave girl of his mother. Well, that's not incest. That's adultery, but not incest. Okay, well, they can name it whatever they want. See? Yeah, okay. The 12, you got that many wives, it's hard to keep. Okay, well, I don't know. Well, who knows what happened there? I bet it's in there, I guess, for a reason. Well, okay, so, all right. Ugh, my God, it's full of sin here. The 12 sons of Jacob. Well, the father's not a very good example. The sons of Jacob were now 12. The sons of Leah, Jacob's eldest son, Reuben, then Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, and Zebulun. The sons of Rachel, Joseph, and Benjamin. The sons of Bilhah, Rachel's slave girl. Oh, that was Rachel's slave girl. Well, okay. Dan and Naphtali, the sons of Zilpah. Well, they didn't have Rachel. See, there you go. They didn't have Rachel's protection anymore. I'm sure they were still helping her out. And there you go. Ay, 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 ay. Jacob, you have a son that took advantage of that, huh? Rachel, slave with Dan and Naphtali, the sons of Zilpah, Leah's slave girl. Gad and Asher, these were the sons born to Jacob in Padan Aram. The death of Isaac. Jacob came home to his father Isaac at Mamre again, at Kiriath Arba, now Hebron, where Abraham and Isaac had stayed. Isaac was 180 years old when he breathed his last. He died and was gathered to his people, an old man who had enjoyed his full span of life. His sons Esau and Jacob buried him. That's the end of 35. Well, there you go. God brought him home just in time to be with his father before he died. That's nice. And his father, it's nice. There was a reunion. Reunion happened, and the twins buried their father together too. That's nice. I like that. Little restoration going on there too. Oh, there you go. As they lived and died. Interesting. I guess, as I mentioned too, when you have idols and you look up to people, right, and idolizing, it's the fan being a fanatic of something, a fan, and it's like you can like something, right, James? Yes, thank you. Everything go well?
Yeah.
You can like something, but you don't have to. When you get almost possessed by something, then you so get to like, right? And then when the person or the persons do something that goes against your fanaticism, then what happens? Right? Become unhappy with the person. Now you become what? An anti-fan. And that can happen by just rumors, gossip, slander, right? Yet people go for it. They love being a fan as much as they love the gossip of the same person. That's weird. Anywho. That's where, again, we see in the Bible Jacob's family. Now it's Israel. It's got problems. There's problems there. Now, what do I want to do? I'm going to become an anti-fan of the Bible. I'm not a fan of the Bible anymore. Well, people make excuses on what is happening in the Bible. in certain areas. Right? That's not good either. One should be honest about it. Say, oh, what Reuben did, that wasn't, but it wasn't incest. Right? He wasn't. He was not related to Bilhah in any way, except for that. Yeah. I'm just saying, that's not incest. So, but it's in there as that. No, but of course, what Reuben did was really wrong. It was not right. Right? Surely he had his own wives at that age. Well, anyway, it's who knows what went on, right? The guys could say, "Oh, Bilhah may be young because but she was probably seducing him." And okay, well, it didn't say that. I don't know. Anywho, so there's always restoration going on. I think that the Bible tells us, okay, right from the beginning, in the Garden of Eden, and then, continuously, Noah, right? Abraham, continuously. Then we get a good look into the family life of people who believed in God, truly did, yet so much going on that just didn't quite go right. Yes? Well, that's just family life. Exactly. That's why, even though certain things in certain families aren't going right, we don't have a right to gossip about them, slander them. Okay? We don't get to do that. I know there are places in the world where when a parent does something wrong, then the children are also criticized, ostracized, and bullied, and I don't know what, as if they were the ones who did the crime or whatever. That's wrong. Okay, don't ever do that in front of me. Okay, or think I'm going to be a part of that. Get that? Then vice versa, because a child, an adult in a family does something, and then the whole family, the parents, they must have done. Then they gossip and ostracize them. That's wrong too. What did I say in the beginning of the video? We're all individuals. Yes, it's nice to be in a family. This, that, right? And you got some bad eggs in the family. Bad eggs, right? Yes. Who, well, you deal with them as best as you can. You don't hide their crimes, though. Don't do that. That's not good for them, and that's not good for you either. Right? But, as I said, we're all individuals. And it's okay to think a little differently. I've never heard anybody read the Bible the way I do. You want to persecute me over it? You want to judge me over it? You want to call me the Antichrist, or I'm not a Christian? Do whatever you want. I know who I am. Remember, this is the last one on this one. I heard someone says, yeah, people call you guys Moonies, and that's a derogatory term. I'm going, really? I never even thought of it. I've been called a Mooney plenty of times. Thank you. Yes, that's what I am. Thank you. I'm proud of my Mooney state, status. I'm a Mooney. I love being a Mooney. I have no problems with being a Mooney. None whatsoever. I've never thought even, until someone told me, so hey, that's by the way. I'm going, really? Well, I'm not going to think about it that way. I'm still a Mooney. Someone calls me a Mooney. Thank you. Yes. Happy you know that. Yeah, see? Never thought of it as a derogatory term. Right? So, somebody calls you a Mooney, or whatever they call you, right? I don't know how otherwise people call you certain things. It's just, wow, thank you. All right. If it's, again, if you know you're on the side of goodness, you know yourself well enough, you don't get offended over things like that. You just don't. You find the good in it as well, right? The positive in it as well. Anywho, that's what I wanted to share today. I didn't have to go to the barn, my sissy-in-law, and a friend, James, went over there and took care of everything. So I get to hang around in the house. We have a fire going, even though I'm sweating. It's raining. We need the rain just right. And I'm going to be working on my Christmas presents today. Oh, and watch some more. If you guys want to watch a good show, I'm not kidding. It's it's a it's a good show. The some of the innuendos, this and that, it's but it's all right. It's just mostly in good humor and fun. So you look past the others and go, dear me, think with this brain. But it's the Great British Baking show or something. Oh my God, I love it. I watch it, especially when I'm cooking or this or that, or doing crafts where I don't have to really pay attention much to the screen. I have that on and I watch it from the first season to now they're on the 10th season, and then I start on the first season again because there's not a whole lot more out there that you can really watch unless you want to just watch. Yeah, even the kid shows aren't, nah, any good anymore. So yeah, it's really difficult to find something that interests me to watch, and that doesn't have foul language in it, that doesn't have explicit stuff in it. Yeah, which so you're no, I don't want to support that. It's creating too much havoc around the world. Okay, done. And no, I don't need to see that. That doesn't make a movie or a series for me, right? But good plots, and without foul language. People can speak without that anymore to make a point or to. No, it's not possible. I know it's possible because I've seen shows where it is possible. Okay. Yeah, I can't think of them right now, but I know I have. I think I have. Yes, I have. Anyway, so I watched that one. Been watching that one. I love it. Got me into baking too. Well, anyway, just in case you guys don't know what to watch, because just about everything American is just no good anymore, okay? Where are all them good directors, You can have good actors, or, as I said, again, these actors say, well, oh, yeah, that one's in the movie. So you're going to go, you watch it because the actor is in it, but the movie really isn't any good. And again, really? Gosh, if I were an actor, I'd say, look, come up with a script where I do not have to use foul language, because that's not acting. That's just acting out, but not acting. Make the scenes so that they stay clean, yet I'm good enough as an actor where I can be in a love scene, okay, and make love felt through the screen without having to take my clothes off, without just about, sucking up someone else's face. Are you getting my drift? Yes. Yeah. So, an actor can do that. Make a good movie. Huh? Yes? Oh, with a good director. You have to have a good director. You can always tell when a good director was behind a good movie or a good series. Okay? You just know. And you also can tell right away when they start changing. When after a season, another director comes in, you can tell. That was, I'll tell you one, that was in Survivor. And started watching, it was really good. I was like, wow, it's really clean. And in the third season, the cussing, the foul language, I'm going, they just changed the director. I'm done. I was done. Didn't watch it. No. Oh, didn't you want to know? No, I'm not like that. I can totally not. No, I'm done. Not that curious. Because I know that the energy that floats around in the world when it comes to the children, I've got to be on the side of goodness. I've got to be able to portray something, to give something out there in a more positive way than that. And even just watching things like this is already, then I become a part of that sin. And I don't want to. Done. Maybe I'm just one person out there. I hope there are others. I know there are others. But I'm doing it with my own freedom of will and freedom of choice. I'm not going to tell anybody else what to do out there. I hope, I plead, I beg, but people are going to do what they want to do. But that's why. No, I don't have any desire. And I realize sometimes I start something and it says language. Sometimes it's straight out, it says foul language. I'm going, okay, watch that. Language. I'm going, well, there's certain words, I'd say, I'm good. I mean, if it's not like every second word or something, here and there, and then I'm good. And I start watching. And if in the first 5 minutes I'm already listening to, done, I'm done. No, don't need to see that. It takes some strength to do that? Not really. If you get used to it, you just kind of go, forget it. Don't want to be a part of that. Because immediately the children come to my mind. Yes, see? Yeah. That's when every day you live with God's point of view, hope to achieve His ideal, and where He can be a part of in your life all the time. As I said, we have to make room for God. It's not Him who has to make room for us. We are the ones who have to make room for Him be in our life. Yes? Kind of makes sense to me. Yeah? All right. Makes you really happy too. All right. God's love and blessings always. And may He protect you. And I will talk to you another time.